Good morning, Midnight's Edge fans. We're here to tell you that we have so much more to offer you now at our Mixed Tees store. Not just t-shirts and hoodies, but we do have plenty of those, and new designs for that matter. You can also get mugs, and of course our brand new limited Amber Turds stained blanket. That's right, just for your bed or wherever you need it. So head on over to Mixed Tees now and get all your apparel and goodies from Midnight's Edge.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for Midnight Edge in the morning. The gang is ready to go and it's time for the show. It's time for Midnight Edge in the morning.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Midnight's Edge in the morning on this lovely Friday. We have reached the end of November. Time certainly flies, and helping it fly is my good friend Paul Chatto. How's it going?
Good. We're not quite at the end of November. We have another
Middle of.
Oh, you said end of. Did I miss it? I miss.
Well, if anything, we are certainly at the end of the first half of November.
Yes,
Agree on that.
I measure my years in tax filing time.
Yeah, Good
So
way to
it
do
just seems to come too quickly. That's all I can say.
yeah. I know that Robert Meyer Burnett once said that he filed his time not in taxes but in movie releases. That's like how I measure time. Like 1995, that's when that movie came out. I was this summer, that summer. Something I agree with, but it's getting more difficult in the last few years where there's nothing new coming.
No.
But we'll get into that. And joining us to get into that is Mr. Chris Brawley of Bleeding. Yeah.
Fool.
Yeah, I just had to make sure I wasn't screwing that up.
I am here. I am glad to be back. I think I didn't make Wednesday, but I got to watch the show. So you guys had a full house. It was good.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
I didn't make Wednesday either.
Mm.
I unfortunately had some personal matters to attend, as life will happen and family will die, and that's just how it is. And Tom also has some family matters today, but we're all here. We'll see who else shows up over the course of the day. We have news to talk about. Let's get into it right away. We're going to keep it dense for you today because we'll start losing panelists a little bit early. So it is how it is. Hyper Guyver gets us into the first topic for $5. Ruby Rose out here running her bean flicker is peak hilarity. Nobody even knows who she is. She got roasted so badly I almost felt bad for her. And yeah, this is in reference to Christie, a movie that is getting so much attention considering that it flopped. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not getting a box office boost. It's certainly not going to fall off the charts because it's gotten a lot of attention lately. And it's gotten that attention because it's starring Sydney Sweeney. And Sydney Sweeney, as you all know, is someone that kind of has been outed as a conservative. We did a video on this that we published yesterday, and Ruby Rose, not related to this anime thing that keeps on haunting me, but the it girl of former Orange is the New Black nude scene fame, as well as Batwoman fame, and Destroyed Her Spine and just blamed Warner for it fame. She had issues with Sydney Sweeney being in the movie on account of Sydney Sweeney being a conservative. So she lashed out at Sydney Sweeney pretty badly, and it did not go well for her. Least of all, as we saw most recently when the real-life Christie came out to defend Sydney Sweeney, referring to Sydney Sweeney as a friend, someone who worked her ass off for her, and an ally. So I'm curious, Mr. Chato, could the embarrassment be more complete for Ruby Rose, who
Well,
came so high and mighty?
she's been embarrassing from the moment that I saw her in Batwoman. Although the words that she spoke that we've made fun of, especially that line about it's not, the bat suit isn't going to be good until a woman wears it or
No,
whatever.
it'll be perfect when it fits a woman. Like
Yes,
something like that. Yeah.
But that's
This is the one memorable line of the show. That is why you
Yeah.
described it right at the,
I think it's the zeal with which she spoke it that got to everybody, right?
Normally, it's not what you say; it's how you say it. But in
But
this
she wasn't
particular case,
the one
I
who
think
wrote
it
the
was
lines.
both.
She wasn't the one who wrote the lines, but she wasn't particularly entertaining in that show, and she was replaced. And she's a meaningless person in the scheme of things, except again, she's, I guess, part of a group that supports each other and pats each other on the back and lifts each other up, and has decided that rather than saying it's great that a story about a female boxer who happened to be lesbian. I understand that the movie is not about her sexual partner interests. It's about her career, and she was married to a straight guy who brutalized her, and that was really the whole point of the movie. For her, it's, I guess you mentioned politics, but I think it might be politics by way. Hold on. I would say that her commentary about not having a lesbian actually playing a lesbian was probably due to Sweeney's politics more than anything else. She was just making an excuse around another lost role for a lesbian actress that could have played Christie. But on the other hand, and apparently Ruby Rose was involved in this production, but it was too
So
long.
not as Christie herself, it should be noted,
Right.
but she was involved in some other capacity in some other role.
Right.
I would like to be able to say exactly which one, but not having seen the movie, since I have no way of seeing it, not being in North America, I can't say which one. But I'm sure that whoever got that role instead was probably better for the movie than Ruby Rose,
Well,
who
that's
would have brought it down with her mere presence.
oh yeah, she's just an ugly personality, and it's just not something that I think helped. Now, the one thing that I think she has helped is that I think when this comes to streaming, there's going to be a lot of interest in it.
Yeah, I think so too. Honestly, I think Sydney Sweeney being in it is the best thing that could have happened to this movie, because let's be honest, it's a biopic, and in being a biopic, there's going to be some limited appeal by default, because not everyone is going to be equally interested in every single biopic there is, right? The producers, they made this movie, I'm sure, because of the domestic angle that you mentioned right there. And then she happens to be a lesbian. All of these things makes it an interesting enough story, but I'm sure that's this domestic issue. That's why the movie was made. Why they chose to make this as opposed to other movies. And I submit it was made as an awards bait movie, because many people who just want to put themselves out there, get more opportunities, this is a good way of doing it. It's easy. It plays really well in the award circuit. It plays well in the festival circuit. It's a nice way for everyone, basically, just to get more attention on their work. And I think that is what happened here, and why this movie was made. Because if they wanted to make a movie about any fighter, they could have chosen plenty other fighters that would have brought more interest, right?
But something
But by casting Sydney Sweeney, they maximize the interest they possibly can get. We're talking about this movie right now, and this movie would never have been on our radar otherwise. It might have been on Paulie's radar because there's a fight aspect to it, but it wouldn't have been on anyone else's radar.
Friday, let's do this.
And the fact that Paulie's a lesbian.
Yeah, well, that helps.
Bringing the guns to the Friday show.
Yeah,
We got all these
absolutely glad to have
Canadian
you.
weenies on this.
Hey, what's with the snore on my video?
Oh,
Would you
no.
give me a
I was
snore?
watching it and it put me back to sleep.
Oh, you bum! That was pretty good.
You know, Andre, I didn't know who Christy
Too
Martin
early for you.
was. Right. I didn't know
Neither
anything
did
about
I.
her. And I was a little bit embarrassed when I learned that, you know, Don King had put her as on Tyson cards on fights where Tyson was having a fight. She was the opening fight. She had a great career.
Yeah.
She held the
It's
championship.
actually a great story.
Yeah,
It actually is a great
it
story.
is.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And I was a little bit disappointed in myself that I didn't know who it was at first, but what delicious irony for the subject of the biopic to come out and say, shut your pie hole, Ruby Rose. You know, this is my girl. She had my back. This woman is a beautiful person inside and out, and she made herself look like me, get beat up, get bloodied. It's not a glamorous role. And you know, she's my friend, and she did a great job. I mean, it immediately shut it down. And I think I would love to have been in the room when the reporter sought Christy Martin out for comment, just to say, "Oh, there seems to be Ruby Rose says that Sydney Sweeney ruined the movie or whatever," and just the ashen face that must have fallen over that reporter when Christy Martin praised Sydney Sweeney. I can't believe, you know, Ruby's 39 years old, right? She's about to turn 40. The biggest role she ever had outside John Wick 2 was Batwoman, right? And of course, she got replaced by an even more woke actress or character, I suppose. And she just has a reputation for being toxic. And to come out and call a fellow actress the same weekend that the movie is struggling a cretin.
It's worse than that, because this is the irony, because she has appealed to the woke crowd, and according to the woke crowd, cretin, this is an ableist term that you can't apply to anyone, not even Trump supporters.
That's right.
So she got backlash for that, and she changed it to psychopath, which is, I argued in my video, that now she's telling on herself, because now she's.
Do you guys remember? Do you remember? This should be a lesson about dancing with the woke mob. Do you remember when they came after Scarlett Johansson over that rub and tug where she was going to play a transgender man?
Yeah, she bailed.
Yes, and backpedaled and said, I mishandled that or whatever, because it is that mob of people that think only fill in the blank can play fill in the blank, right? For whatever it is, you know what I mean? And
well, look at Redmayne. Redmayne apologized.
Yeah,
for the Danish girl, you mean, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it only goes one way.
Well, I feel like, you know, all of Ruby Rose's legume diet aside, this may be the shift we needed, right? Because this was the cancellation attempt. This was Ruby trying to cancel a post event, post birth abortion of Sydney Sweeney's.
Well, she was.
I'm not gonna
herself. What?
Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Ruby anointed herself as the spokesperson for all the harpies in Hollywood.
Yeah, and all the lesbians.
Well, that's kind of what I meant.
Well, go ahead, Paulie.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, Chris, but I'd like to add to it. What you got,
and you wouldn't be the first to say I'm wrong. Just
no, but what you really got, guys, was insight to an actor that's not working. How envious, how petty, how egomaniacal actors are on the daily. You know, I love my lady, you know, but I live with an actor, and the insight is it's most of the time most actors aren't working.
Yep,
and
especially now,
it's terrible right now.
Yeah, especially Ruby Rose.
Right. So, in that being said, Andre, the fact that you know, Romy consistently works every year, that doesn't happen a lot, man. And you
No,
know,
that's a testament to her ability and also how political she is and diplomatic she is in maintaining relations.
so that being said, all her actor friends, the ones that aren't working, like the big ones that we rub elbows with, they all hate Romy's success. And Romy is just a working actress. She's not a star by any means. She's not even a series regular. But the insight is with Ruby Rose, you know, bitch, I was gonna get that role. That was supposed to be my role.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's great insight. And you know, Chris, you're not wrong. You got the whole, you know, cancellation and you know, all that stuff. But this is a great insight just to how just you know, petty actors are on the daily. And if you know, on the daily, and some people asking who's Romy, she's an actor who also happens to be my girlfriend. So
Live-in girlfriend, right?
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to
no,
add that,
and I don't
Chris.
disagree. I know that's part of it. Obviously, these situations are a little more complex than the headlines that we try to apply or the analysis that we try to apply. But you know, not every non-working actor or actress is out there trashing, you know, debut movies. So it's just like she just takes it to a whole new level of
Yeah,
pettiness.
that's what I mean. She's a proper psycho.
Yeah.
That's what she. I thought that because she was telling herself the moment that she changed the label that she applied to Sydney Sweeney from cretin to psychopath, when there's absolutely nothing whatsoever to criticize about what Sydney Sweeney has done. I mean, she's an actor. She did the work. She did everything she could to physically transform herself into Christie. When you look at the pictures, I mean, I'm sure there's other talent out there that could have looked more like her, but there's not many. And when you look at what Sydney Sweeney usually looks like and how she transformed herself, I mean, that's the best, one of the best transformations for a biopic I have seen this side of, oh, what's her face again? The blonde one. Charlize Theron from that movie from 20 years ago, where she did a similar transformation.
Charlize
which was
Theron,
even
yeah.
more extreme. Yeah, exactly.
Monster.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So all kudos to Sydney Sweeney for having done this. She's acted professional and graceful when the movie underperformed or even flat out bombed big time. She's done absolutely everything correct. There's nothing you can criticize her for. And
Well,
for that, she's labeled a psycho.
Yeah, well, she's a throwback. This is all a throwback, right?
Yeah.
This was a guaranteed Oscar nomination, and she still might get it. Although, you know, don't ask the rags to support her.
Yeah,
she still might get it. But this what she did is a throwback to how actors, you know, got a nomination. They put on the fake wig, they add some pounds, they Raging Bullet, and boom, you get the nomination. Plus, she's also doing, guys, I think which is another reason why a lot of people like her, is you don't know her politics, you don't know her causes. She's keeping that to herself, you know, and she's here to entertain you guys, whether it's with her looks or with a serious story. And we need more of that.
I mean, I apologize for not really wanting to watch it in the theater, but I'm definitely going to watch it when it comes to streaming. I mean, that, you know, is that high praise? I don't know. I don't even want to watch streaming shows these days.
I did buy a ticket to it this past weekend.
You
did
saw it in the theater?
No, I didn't go. I just bought a ticket to support. So I'll do that.
Wow.
I'll do that a lot of times. Well, if I can't,
that's awesome.
That's very
nice.
Because
the new John Candy biopic, whatever.
I heard the documentary.
I wouldn't have seen that in the theater either, but enjoyed it on streaming. So I'm with you, Paul. I probably would have. I'm certain to watch this on streaming.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in watching this.
Yeah. And I think she'll get a couple of nods, maybe not the Oscars like you say, Paulie, But maybe the Golden Globes or some other notable.
Well, and in that picture that you brought up, Andre, Christy was just beaming next to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a. She was just so happy to be there, and considering how down market Sweeney made herself, Christy looks the boxer, the original individual, absolutely looks fabulous in that shot.
Yeah, here it is.
She looks great.
Yeah.
She's a good-looking woman. Yep.
Right.
She's a
she was-
motivational speaker now, I think.
And she was an athlete. I mean,
Yeah.
this was she reached the highest echelon, and then she got mind screwed by her ex-husband manager,
Yep.
and that's the last part of this movie that gets really interesting from our reviewers who saw it. You know, it's kind of paint by numbers, but then it gets really interesting with the Ben Foster character. But Sweeney does a really good job from what my people, our reviewers show. Yeah.
And what is so fantastic is that I guarantee you, if this movie had starred literally anyone else, we would not be talking about it right now. No one here would be talking about, we're going to see this in streaming. We're ashamed that we didn't know this story. This is 100% success in casting because it has actually elevated the interest around the movie without compromising the integrity of the movie or the resemblance to the real life Christie. I mean, this is spot on. So kudos to everyone. This movie was never going to be a massive hit upon release. That wasn't happening under any circumstance. But now, because of this, it's going to have a post-release life.
Yeah.
Beyond
Totally.
the
It really
award.
is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a great point you bring up.
And that's because of Sydney Sweeney. And ironically, Ruby Rose.
Well, I just
at her own expense, she also increased the profile of the movie.
I just did a search, and Sydney Sweeney is one of the film's producers.
That's her baby.
Pardon me?
It's hers.
This was her baby. Yeah, she's done a
so-
few projects.
The
like
movie
this.
wouldn't have happened without her. I mean,
Well,
she's
yeah.
instrumental
And how
in
many
getting funding.
movies has Ruby Rose produced?
Nothing.
She produced a music video now and directed it too, I think. She did. It's true.
And
Well, I'm sure she'll produce a webcomic any day now.
see,
Using
is
AI, of course.
This is actually also going back to guys, an actor's reputation.
Yes.
And it shows in the projects that they're doing, that they've completed, and what's looking forward, because people want to work with that actor, with that talent. Nobody wants to work with Ruby Rose. Nobody wants to work with Ziegler. They want to work with Sydney Sweeney, Chalamet, Jenna Ortega, bam. Because they got a great reputation on set. I mean, an actor who's your star can make your production freaking miserable if they're an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there.
Yep.
Before we move on from this, we have a couple of super chats pertaining to this topic. Jason Webster says for $5 Australian coming soon. Ruby Rose starring in the Crash Test Dummy. There's actually a video game made about those. I'm sure you could use that as a basis for a movie. I think she'd probably be miscast.
They work more than she does.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so Nightmare also says for $2. Rose was also replaced as Kate
Right.
Kane too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, we said that.
Sure
Yeah,
was.
Wallace Day, I believe. Then we have more super chats. I'm doing them a little bit out of order, so just be patient. We'll get to yours. Flying Blind on a Motorcycle says for $1.99. Good morning, all, and thank you. Good morning to you. Miller says for 35 South African rands. In light of recent developments, I think it's safe to say Alex Kurtzman is an unemployed little biatch,
Well, we'll
but a
see.
very highly paid one. And so we have some more rumors on that.
Yeah,
Rumors which suggest that things aren't looking great, that Skydance have heard his pitches, they have heard his plea, and apparently, rumor alert, they were none too pleased. More to come in video in the next few days here. And Dark King says for $2 Australian, if Paul buttons his collar, he's in a priest cosplay. Good point right
I've been
there.
buttoning my collar. I find
Oh,
Yeah.
we gotta
Yeah,
cut
but
back
you
the
know,
salty language now.
Yeah.
Speaking
and,
of Star
uh,
Trek, did you guys see where some of the producers, specifically Berman, were talking about how
Yeah.
they just cannot stomach the contemporary slang and dialogue in the new shows?
That's an amazing point. Also, one of the things that Tom asked Nicholas Meyer in his interview. So yeah, they seem to have made a creative error on that one.
Agreed.
Also, before we
another
move
show
on
that's
here,
doing that. Sorry, really fast. That King and Conquerors put in all modern language. I'm just like I'm like an idiot. I keep watching it. I'm like,
amazing.
wow.
Yeah. And Magnus Toth says for $20, thanks for the support.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the new Pluribus series on Apple? Seems like Vince Gilligan has done it again. And I finally agree with Andre on Foundation. Except for a couple of bad casting choices, it's a brilliant show. Yeah, the trick is to focus on Empire. If you see it as the Empire show, it's really, really solid, actually. The problem is all this other stuff with like this Foundation cultish bullshit. Just fast forward through that and it's fine.
Yeah.
Bad casting aside.
I can't. There's too much blah 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 blah.
I know. Like, but the Empire thing, that's so cool. That's so interesting.
Well,
Just
he's
too bad
also
about the whole
one of the
Foundation.
best actors on the planet, Pace.
Lee Pace, yeah, absolutely. So
And
if
he
you
likes
just give,
being naked. He likes being naked in the show all the time.
Don't we all?
he does, but he has a body to show off. Like, I mean,
It's easier
Yeah.
to like being naked when you look good naked.
indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
Lee Pace, an
right,
example
Paulie?
for us all.
Hey,
Gun show. I'm just kidding. Hey,
Yeah.
what about this Pluribus? Paul, you were weighing in on it. Has
Yep.
anybody else seen it on the panel? I have not.
I finished watching episode 3 this morning, so I could be prepared for any questions. It's a true science fiction show so far in the classic sense, compared to just endless dystopian cable shows and people wielding guns and things like that. There's some very smart shit in here. Really, really smart stuff. This episode, again, I wouldn't call it a slow burn, but you've got the lead character in a very bizarre situation. They're not going to just jump out guns blazing. She is still trying to figure out what is going on, and it's really well handled, almost poetically. I mean, we talk about blah blah blah. That's all this is right now, but the conversation is so logical that you don't mind. It does not feel made up. I'm loving it so far.
Awesome.
I've heard
And they
good
went to
things,
Norway,
but,
which is always cool.
Yeah, they went to Norway.
Apple and Paramount, really, to a similar degree, and maybe HBO Max to a slightly lesser degree, they do have always potentially very good content. Apple TV, when they put the weight of their production behind it, their money behind it, the right minds behind it. That show, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Slow Horses.
Yeah, very good.
Love it.
Brilliant show.
Brilliant.
Brilliant show.
We're just now, my wife and I are just now going through
It's fantastic.
For All Mankind. Just finished the first season.
Eh,
It has its moments. Yeah,
but
it
it's
looks
original.
like
At least it's an original.
original. Yes, very original, and
It turns into a soap opera.
yeah, it feels like it in season 2. But the money's on the screen.
Yep.
You know,
And Pluribus was produced by Sony. And then
that's
you've
right.
got, K-pop Demon Hunters, Sony. Sony is popping up on my
Well, that's
screen
also
constantly.
For All Mankind, Sony.
Okay. I mean,
Yep.
Sony is killing it as the production company for a lot of really.
What did I just watch that has Sony? Something really good. Yeah.
Sony is really quietly.
Tom
They have
Rothman has
the
turned
edge.
that place around. I mean,
Yeah.
Droid Fox, but man, he was the right choice for Sony. Ain't no debate about that.
So Pluribus, high recommendation. for
I
me.
do. It's
Yeah.
it's an intelligent show, super intelligent show.
I'm
Yeah.
waiting
And
on
also
Landman season
Foundation.
2 this weekend.
Also, Foundation, high recommendation. Just make sure to limit your exposure to the Foundation
Lee
in the
Pace.
Foundation show, because the Foundation kind of sucks. It's all about Empire.
It's not for
Empire
the
is
fans.
awesome
Yeah.
in
Hmm.
the Foundation show. So go Team Tyrant. I'm
I'm going to wait to see if the ending matches the book.
Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't hold my breath. But
You know, that
speaking
kind of
of-
makes me think about Badlands, right? Listen, all you old Predator fans, this one isn't for you. So now it's like, listen, you Foundation book readers,
Yeah.
this show's not for you, right?
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
a shame. It shouldn't be that way, but it actually does help if you're
Yeah.
not too attached to the source material. And
Understood.
yeah, and it's like the same thing with, for instance, me. I can't stand the series Lucifer.
Yeah.
I would have liked it
I
if I
do.
didn't. That's because you don't know the comic.
Oh,
So
I
we have the perfect situation. Like I vaguely know the Foundation books. I read the first one, haven't read the rest of them, but I know the gist of them. I have read the Lucifer books, and because I have read the Lucifer books, I'm unable to separate myself from them, and I hate the show Lucifer for that reason. It's so goddamn stupid. But anyway,
Yeah, if we can
speaking
go
of-
off on that for a second, because I've been hearing that a lot with Predator fans. Polly, how can you like this movie? You don't know the comics. You don't know the comics. I'm like, yeah, I don't. I'm watching the movie on its
Right.
merits. I had a great time.
Yeah.
You know, but I get that. I respect that. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't read the comics, but I'm not trying to put y'all down, but I had a great time.
And I can also tell that the people who made the movie, they could have done a better job with the comics, but clearly there's influence from the comics there. I mean, like Deki is Broken Tusk, who is a recurring staple in the
Yeah.
comics. But let's move on from there. Sticking with Foundation, it has the amazing Lee Pace, one of the best actors of this generation. He salvages that show on his own, and he's also pretty amazing in The Running Man, a movie which I happened to see yesterday. Have any of the rest of you guys seen it?
Lee Pace is in The Running Man?
Yeah, he
Lee
is.
Pace is in The Running Man.
Oh,
Yeah. You see this guy here, the one with the mask? I'm not going to spoil anything, but
okay. Don't spoil it.
yeah, but you catch my drift. There's a reason why he has a mask, and it's not because it's Lee Pace, but it's Lee Pace. That's his character in the movie, and he's amazing. If anything, one of my biggest problems with The Running Man is that Lee Pace is underused in it. They could have used him so much more. I mean,
Hmm.
I'd be interested in a prequel focused on Lee Pace's character, because my mini review of The Running Man, it's really, really good. It doesn't compare to the Schwarzenegger movie, but what you have to realize is that the original here is actually a Stephen King story, or Stephen King short story, rather. I read that one ages ago, but I don't remember too many details of it. I'd be lying if I said that I did. So in this sense, this isn't so much a remake of the Schwarzenegger movie as much as it is a new adaptation of the original source material. And then I'm like, okay, fine, then you can do it. Because this is not a remake of an original Schwarzenegger project. It's a story that became a Schwarzenegger vehicle. And it doesn't really compare to that because it's a very, very different thing. If anything, this is more similar to Death Race 2000 because it takes place over a much larger period of time, over a larger area, let's say.
Roger Corman rules.
Yeah, but still, I think that this was really cool, and it was relevant because part of the appeal of the original was that they were using AI to fake recordings, basically, of the Schwarzenegger character. They do that here as well, obviously, but now it's more chilling because now we actually have AI. which means you can't really trust our own eyes. And that's one of the themes of this movie. So I actually thought it was really, really cool. I enjoyed it. I see that it's gotten some very mixed reviews. And politically, you can accuse it of being woke, but I think that those accusations kind of like misses the mark. I thought it was a very cool movie. I enjoyed it tremendously. I had fun with it. I'd watch a Lee Pace prequel. Well, that's me. Anyone else seen it so far? Any questions? Any
Is
comments?
that Seth Milchick as the game show host from Severance? That's the floor manager in Severance, Seth Milchick. That's not him.
I haven't seen Severance,
Okay.
so I can't answer that question. I'll say that he's pretty good in the movie,
Okay.
but
It sure
I
looks like
don't
him.
know the actor or
Okay.
what he's done before.
So our own Rosa Parra, she saw it early, put up her reaction video, and while she feels the pace and the kind of like the whole movie as a whole is a little disjointed, she absolutely loved Glenn Powell. Like this
He
man
was
is like
great in it. Yeah.
right, he's like Mr. Charisma, and
Yeah.
she pointed Coleman Domingo's performance out as well. So that's the gentleman with the bow tie right there. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Coleman Domingo. So those are her remarks. I think she gave it the movie an overall like 7 out of 10. So yeah.
Yeah, that seems fair. I like.
That's about in line with, I mean, like Rotten Tomatoes has it at 63. So
Which, to be clear, it's not. It doesn't mean 63 out of 100. It means that 63% of critics liked it,
yes.
and how much they liked it that you can tell from the score.
Mm-hmm.
But But
Does
yeah,
the movie have any fun callbacks? Or I saw going around the web the other day a big print of Currency with Schwarzenegger's face on it, as though he were the president.
That's the only reference to Schwarzenegger in the movie.
Okay, so that does
thing,
show up.
That is in the movie. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like basically you have like new currency, which is the Schwarzenegger currency. There is absolutely no other reference to Arnold Schwarzenegger whatsoever. The movie is not a sequel, as was speculated by some. It's a complete and total remake. The events of the original movie never happened within the context of this one. Complete clean slate, complete reboot. It's just that whoever is on the currency is someone very powerful in this world, and it's not related at all to the character who survived the Running Man in the original movie.
Well, I have a question. Was this an Edgar Wright project that he pitched the studios, or was this a studio thing where they got Edgar Wright to direct it? Because I went,
good question.
Why is Edgar Wright working on a remake? Like, it just seemed tawdry.
So far, by the way, it is his lowest rated Rotten Tomatoes movie ever, by the way.
Yeah. I would have liked it to be a little bit more Edgar Wright, to be honest. Like, I liked the movie. I enjoyed it, but I would have liked it to be more Edgar Wright, which makes me think that this is just my speculation, but I would imagine the studio came to him rather than the other way around, because it's relatively low on Edgar Wright-isms.
And that's from yourself to other critics as well that I know, that's the same sentiment, is that it's not really an Edgar Wright film.
Yeah.
And again, like everyone's saying, it's not bad. Like it's still very entertaining as an action flick, but that as a whole cohesive piece, it's like, this is not really an Edgar Wright, traditional Edgar Wright. So
it's entertaining, but it won't change your life.
It's interesting because from what I've read, Edgar Wright was actually talking about it on Twitter or something, like back in 2017, that he wanted to do it, and that he's the one that approached Stephen King about adapting it. Take that with a grain of salt.
Well, if he did, he changed his own style for it. Of course, that could be that. It could be like he had this vision, and the what we associate with Edgar Wright isms just wasn't right for that particular project and the tone of it. And I can see that, like tonally, some of the things that he's known for wouldn't really fit, because this is a much more fast-paced movie that where you actually would bog it down if you suddenly were to bring in some of the things that he's more known for. So I can totally see that.
So this is more of a faithful adaptation of King's book, not a remake of the Schwarzenegger.
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
absolutely. Well, of course, faithful, that's something that you can discuss, but it is a new adaptation of the original story, much more so than it is a new take on the Schwarzenegger version, which was a very loose adaptation to begin with. Basically, same deal as Total Recall, right? Total Recall also wasn't an original movie. It was an adaptation of a novel from Philip K. Dick. And so the remake, we call it a remake, but technically it was a new adaptation of the novel and not a remake of the script that was used for the Schwarzenegger movie.
Well, but the Colin Farrell remake was a remake of the Schwarzenegger movie, wasn't it?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Well, that's the reason why they called it Total Recall and everything, right? Because that's not the title of the book. The book is called We Can Remember It For You Wholesale. Yeah. And of course, but that's kind of like what I mean, right? It's the same deal here. They say it's a new adaptation of the original source material, but honestly, the only reason why they're doing that is because the previous movie was such a big hit. And then they do, for all practical purposes, they do something which is like 1/3 the Schwarzenegger vehicle, 1/3 the original story, and 1/3 something completely different. And that, I think, is true for both Total Recall and The Running Man. Only in my opinion, they were significantly more successful with The Running Man than they were with the Total Recall remake.
Well, I mean, look at Blade Runner.
Forgettable.
Another Philip K. Dick.
Right.
Yeah.
And Minority Report. Going back to Edgar Wright choosing to do this, it was also one of the reasons he said, and has actually said it on a couple of other press junkets back whenever, that it was because he had read the book, saw the movie, and felt the movie did not do a good job of adapting the book. And maybe, and I'm guessing, now I'm speculating that maybe that's the reason it adheres closely to the book rather than to the traditional Edgar Wright style, because he maybe felt he had a little something to prove that he could adapt the book the way it was written,
Well, his first mistake as someone who works in Hollywood is to actually read a book. That was an error.
Yeah, but we're going to move on here. We have a couple of other different questions and comics. Just to comment, comics. That's something else. Sorry about that. Jason Webster says, breaking news, Ruby Rose was jealous of the CGI Megalodon in the Meg. Well, she was definitely jealous of Jason Statham, who was the star of that movie. You probably felt
that's
that.
Right. No, but it was Meg that was the lesbian. That's why she was complaining.
Yeah, probably. And our good friend WDW Pro loves listening for the road. Yeah, we love listening to you as well. Yeah. So
drive safe, man.
Look forward to speaking to you soon. And thanks for the $10. And Soul Nightmare says that Lee Pace is my favorite top pick for Brainiac. Yeah, because we suddenly got a whole spat of Brainiac rumors. Soul Nightmare also said earlier, streets are saying Klaus Bang, who was the BBC Dracula in the 2020 adaptation, the one in which Dracula was gay, has auditioned for Brainiac. I'd be okay with that. The show was bad, but his performance was entertaining. Yeah, Klaus Bang is amazing. Danish actor. He was also in The Northman. He'd be a very good pick for most things, including Brainiac. So, yeah, he may very well be one of the people
Lee
punching up
Pace
there.
would probably be one of the biggest actors if he could convincingly be put into a rom-com, but he can't do it unless it's a gay rom-com.
Yeah.
But,
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why a lot of the gay actors don't come
right,
out. It's not because they're not proud of who they are. It's like, I don't want to get typecast.
right.
You know, I want to be able to do all different types of roles.
Isn't that interesting how Ruby Rose says if you're playing an LGBT character, you have to be LGBT? But I guarantee if you said, well, if you're going to play a straight character, you have to be straight, that would hurt a lot of careers. in
Absolutely.
Hollywood.
Oh God, you get
It would hurt
destroyed.
Lee Pace's career for one.
That's what I mean,
let's not
right?
have that.
Yeah, I mean, if we said that only straight women can be in field hockey movies,
go.
then it would be
Yeah,
devastating.
Well,
only straight-
speaking of, I saw something where there are 4 or 5 transgender women playing in the women's hockey league in Canada. Is this true?
Yes.
Yeah, Chato's one
Sigh.
of them. Chato's one of them.
Yes.
But the argument, the opposing argument to what we were just talking about is that the reason that I think some of the trans allies will say you have to be LGBTQ to play LGBTQ is because no one is hiring trans actors to play straight roles.
No, that's never going to happen.
That's
Yeah,
what
why
I mean.
would they? And
Well,
why
that-
would
that's
these
what I'm
trans
getting
actors
at.
take on such a
So
role?
What you said. I'm trying to think about what you said because
Okay.
yes and
I'm
no.
just trying to contextualize maybe where their strict demand or a demand for strict adherence to LGBT has to play LGBT. And I think it might come from the fact that no trans person is being cast for a straight role.
Well, because a trans person is constantly affirming their cosplay role.
I'm not
I don't
saying
know
it's
if
wrong.
that's- I don't
Paul,
think that's
don't hear
absolute-
me saying that that's the wrong way. I think that it would create more problems than it's worth. Go ahead, Paulie. I didn't mean
No,
to
I
say
just say I don't think that's necessarily true. I do think that there's a lot of trans actors that are playing a lot of straight roles. They're just smaller roles and not lead roles. Probably television.
like Ellen Page probably could play either. Elliot Page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
no, I mean, but for the most part,
Generally,
you're
they don't
right.
want to.
Hollywood casting is strange, man, because I'm using Romy's career as an example. She was up for a huge role, and the role happened to be either trans or lesbian, the way it was written, and she was the best actor for it, man. She put in a great audition, and they're like, we can't give it to you. Like we gotta give it to the trans actor, to the gay. So you lose that one, and then later on, I think within that same season, she got a role in Grey's Anatomy playing a lesbian wife. It's just weird the way Hollywood works, man, and it's very strange.
Yeah, it is what it is. Before we move on, we'll stick to the topic of Lee Pace for a little bit.
Yeah.
Pilgrim Media says Lee Pace was brilliant in *Halt and Catch Fire* series. And
Yes.
Drew Tipton points out that he fell in love with Lee Pace as an actor in *Halt and Catch Fire* on AMC. Sure reminded me of my first job making video games in a run-down office. Yeah.
He is brilliant. Like, just there's not a single thing he's done that I've not liked. He has a phenomenal screen presence.
He really does. Yeah.
I mean, he's not an out of work actor.
No, and thank God we're better off for it. And I hope that he'll be in DC as well, be brilliant. I mean, he was already in Marvel because he was Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was absolutely
Yep.
brilliant as that. Give him a similar role in DC. I'd hate to see him wasted on Brainiac, because I think you could have someone less toned for that role, let's say.
Yeah, Brainiac is not swole. I think that's the word.
He's just a head.
Yoked.
No, Brainiac. No, Brainiac. Well, no. Well, again, depending on the cartoon, but there's some versions of Brainiac where he's ripped.
Yeah.
In a,
Well,
in a
maybe.
kind of like large
Bronze Age
shoulder.
V shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of ripped, so is Glenn Powell in The Running Man, and Destiny Captain says Glenn Powell is quite good in Chad Powers on Hulu. Yeah, he's a rising star. And Shadow
not seen that.
Dancer
Chad Powers.
says the adaptation of
football
Total
movie,
Recall,
football show.
the Schwarzenegger version, was written by Pierce Anthony. Oh, thanks
Mm.
for the information.
Yeah. Total Recall did not require a reboot.
No, very few things actually do. Oh, very few things need that. Soul Nightmare says, also, someone pointed out that Man of Tomorrow will be the first time in almost 50 years that Luthor or Zod won't be the main villain.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's hope so, at least. I mean, we haven't seen the movie yet, but let's hope. And Dark King says for $5 Australian, saw Chato's latest video today. Question: if Hollywood dies, where does the TV and movie industry go next? Some other U.S. state or a tax haven nation?
It's going to be distributed. Polly can agree or disagree, but now we're in internet distribution mode. I got rid of my office 10, 12 years ago, and all my employees are now all over the world because we don't need to have an office any longer. And the best part of Hollywood, as I said in my video that Polly fell asleep watching, was that it was one place where you could go to and meet many, 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 many people. And that really in the 90s was, a fantastic, time when Burt Metcalf took me to the Directors Guild movie theater and saw an initial pre-cut of a Steven Spielberg movie, and then everybody got together to make notes on behalf of Steven Spielberg. I mean, it really was an amazing place, especially if you have some credits. It's a difficult place if you're not wanted. If you are wanted, it's an absolutely brilliant place. But now the last time I went down to Hollywood, apart from meeting fabulous people like Polly, it's just not the same anymore. And the agents that I used to know, they're all gone. There's buildings that I went to, they're gone. Nobody's in them anymore. It's just turning into a ghost town, and I think it's problematic that you don't have one location where pretty much 90% of the industry is focused. But I think just like computers, we're talking about distributed computing power. So that's what's happening. Bulgaria has got a massive film industry going, and Georgia and Nevada and Arizona, and so that's what's going to happen. And then you've got people like Netflix and Apple and Prime. They're the ones who are going to be funding these things, and they're all over the place. So I think there will be offices. I think there'll be decision makers still in Hollywood. That's never going to not happen, but it's going to be different. And I think it's a drag.
Yeah. And then before we move on to the final topic, Lightning Sketch Productions sent us 2 super chats on a related topic. One for $4.99, the other for $9.99. Thanks for that. First one reads, is it reasonable to view AI as what woke was? Something companies try to push, but the general public rejects to the point where to call it quits. And I think it's reasonable to call full AI products what woke was. something companies try to push, but the general public rejects to the point where it's time to call it quits. So yeah, to similar, what one a question, the other his opinion. I know that Chato has a lot to say about this. So Paulie, let's begin with you. Is AI what woke was, in the way that it's being pushed upon a public that never asked for it?
That's such a weird question. It's part of Hollywood now, guys. It's every studio entity. They all have their own AI, departments and machinery and all that stuff. And the conversations are how, as far as FX people, how who's losing their jobs, who's not. So I don't know about the whole. I don't really. I'm not seeing the connection here with woke.
No, I
It's
don't.
a it's a it is a it's a think of the, what is it, industry revolution, what do they call it? Remember that, that's what's going on. It's just another tool that's completely revolutionizing the filmmaking process, for better or for worse.
Yeah, don't forget that one of Hollywood's powers, and I mentioned that in my most recent video, is that it took to do any kind of production required real electricity, a lot of it. 1,000-watt light was 1,000 watts. A 10,000-watt light was 10,000 watts. And one of the things that filmmakers all over the world could not duplicate was the fact that every single stage in Hollywood had this massive array of not generators, but I can't remember the term anymore. Just they were able to handle the amount of electricity that was required to light a movie or in a TV show. But now with digital cameras,
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
and the fact that you can light things with lower cost and lower powered LEDs, that has democratized movie and filmmaking, and no one talks about that. And Hollywood no longer has they don't have the technical stranglehold anymore because of the amount of power that was required. So AI is just another iteration of the change of power.
And someone says in the chat, like, public support, like it woke, like the public support doesn't want it. Maybe our circles here, but the public doesn't really care as long as it looks good. And also, too, a lot of people are using it as far as just for their own, whether it's their channels or their own little businesses. So yeah, this is just a hard cope that we're all having to deal with. But if you could get ahead of it in the sense of make it part of your business, more power to you. I mean, it all there's filmmakers that film movies all on their iPhones. This is the same fight. This is the same challenge, and it can be a creative tool.
Yeah, I think Disney is getting out ahead of it. Thanks, Andre, for putting this Hollywood Reporter article up. They are trying to not only control their IP, but they're going to let users create content using their IP. And I feel like, I don't know that it's explicitly laid out here, because apparently Iger is just hinting at it. But imagine if that is the new content being generated for Disney Plus. So now you watch Disney Plus, and some user has created a Frozen 3. And there it is. And if it met all the requirements, Disney will play it, and you will have just generated content for the mega global corporation to add it to their streamer. It's funny too, contrasting Disney's decision to do something like this. You could pitch it as, they're just going to use AI content on their streamer, whereas streamers like Paramount or Apple, like we were talking about earlier, is actually making art. I think the closer we get to society accepting AI generated art as art, it is a devolution of society. I feel like. Could you imagine watching AI generated comedians doing a stand-up routine? Do you think you would laugh as much as you might laugh at maybe a Sam Kinison?
Well, they did a George Carlin.
I saw that.
Yeah, I
But-
didn't laugh or smile once.
At the end, there was a joke at the very end that was good. But
I will say that I think I have come to hate AI. It's become a scourge on YouTube with all of the faceless channels. And I say that both as a content creator and as a doom scroller that goes on in my feed is just jam-packed with these AI generated crap. And it doesn't all seem AI. And also all kinds of interesting articles. It has all of the hallmarks and shitty AI humor. So I'm not that worried on behalf of comedians. I'm sure there's like things that an AI can work with. But unless you do amazing prompts, and if you can do that amazing prompts, you don't need AI in the first place. The end result is going to suck, at least so far. Who knows? Either way, I'm not happy with the development. And honestly, entertainment is the least of worries. What worries me much more are all of the millions upon millions of jobs which are going to be removed all over the Western world in the next few years. And those people aren't going to have anything to do. There's not going to be, they're going to have to be nurses or something, a lot of them. This, I think, is a real problem, that AI, just like social media, it is now something that is here. It's for the most part unfortunate. Society was better off without it. And I think it's going to be the exact same thing with AI. Unfortunately, this is where you have the tragedy of the commons, in that it's a disaster for everyone, for society at large.
But no one's going to stop it.
Individuals can make it use for them, and company owners can make a shit ton of money by outsourcing things to AI.
Yeah.
So it's beneficial to them, although the cost of that is that it's a disaster for society at large. We're about to lose Chato here, unfortunately. But, you have to go. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got this one before you had to go.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for thanks for having me as always. I have my latest video. I've jumped on the Hollywood is dying bandwagon, but I've got a different angle, as I always do. Yeah.
You're just plugging Vancouver again. We know it.
Yeah, I am. And Polly has endorsed it with a snore.
Yes.
It's very relaxing.
It's a very
It's those
relaxing
dulcet
video
tones.
because
of
I'm
your
wearing
voice.
my
So basically, if you can't sleep, if you go to bed, your mind is racing, you have too much things to worry about, go check out Mr. Chato's latest video and it'll put you right to
That's
sleep.
right. You can pick from Nerdrotic or me to go to sleep on.
Or golf.
Let's insult all my favorite people. Pro, heel. I mean, let's just
How do
insult
I
everyone.
love Paul and Polly? I love you both. How is that possible?
I actually still like Polly.
I know you do.
I like you all. It's so easy. I don't have any beef with anyone. So.
Anyways, I'm off to a business meeting. I'll tell you. Have a nice. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, we'll
have
save
to-
we'll save the final story, which I know you'll want to chime in on, for Monday then.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah.
See, pal.
Yeah, awesome. Well, then, gentlemen, we have one more story here. Then it's pertaining to biopics, which has been a trend for today.
Wow.
Drew Tipton says for $4.99. Off topic, but anyone know if that Scorsese Ramones biopic is still happening? Last I heard, Pete Davidson was considered for Joey. Yes. This was a project that was announced about a year ago, but it faced legal issues. And those legal issues started at the very tail end of 2024, and they only escalated over the course of 2025. I do not recall the exact details of what those issues were. If Tom was here, he would have known.
It's the widow of Joey Ramone. She
Something
said
like
it was
that.
being made without her approval or something.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah.
And last I heard, and this was as per March, so things may have happened since. But as per March, the project was derailed and not happening.
I mean,
And I
if it's
haven't been able to find any updates since.
if it's with you know, it's got if it was connected to Pete Davidson, I'm for the better, man. I mean, get rid of that guy. That guy's terrible. I mean, your boy Lee Pace would be great. Your
He'd be
boy Lee
great in
Pace would be
anything.
great. You know,
Actually, Pete Davidson's Ramones project, I don't think is related to the Scorsese. I think that's called I Slept
okay.
with Joey Ramone, and it's a whole nother. I think those are two different projects that Drew is talking about.
I just I just saw that Eddie Murphy Pete Davidson movie. That's one of the worst movies of the year, and it's been a banner year for really terrible films.
Yeah, I can't watch anything with. I can't even watch a commercial with Pete Davidson in it.
Yeah, I
really can't.
It's the same feeling I get. I was like, ugh.
I do enjoyed his role in The Suicide Squad, especially
Okay.
that headshot part. I mean, he was very convincing in doing that. So yeah, that was brilliant. And Lightning Sketch Productions has a final question for us all for $9.99. Shouldn't we do something to stop the AI apocalypse? Because we can't just sit around while our jobs are under threat of a machine. Greed should not win. Polly, what should we do? Tell us.
Learn to code. I don't know, man.
We're past that now.
I know. Shouldn't we do something to stop the AI apocalypse?
Yeah,
I'm
James
going to
Cameron
pass it
tried
to
to
you,
help,
Chris.
and we all
Yeah.
laughed at Jim Cameron. So
Yeah. No, the problem is there ain't nothing we can do.
right.
All I can say is no, don't learn to code. That's not going to do shit because coders are going to lose their job. AI can code better. No, learn to change diapers, become a nurse because AI can't do that.
You learn a trade. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, if you want to go old school, learn a trade.
Yeah.
The handyman are never out of work.
No.
And
It makes you start wanting to. It makes you start liking the Unabomber, right? If you've ever read his what he wrote, his manifesto, it was about this sort of rise in technology. And Andre, you're right. We can't stop it, but wouldn't it have been a great movie if one battle after another was activists trying to destroy AI databases or something like that? Like really, they were, rather than trying to fight the ideology that they were doing, they could have been like, I want to save all of humanity from this AI dystopian future that we're all headed for.
Yeah, that would be.
It's like the Matrix. We're just going to be useful for batteries.
Yeah, but the sad thing is that the world would have been better if there was no AI. I mean, Dune was quite correct about that. Thou shalt not make a machine in the image of a human mind, or I don't recall the exact quote. But basically, yeah, it's dreadful and it's here, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. Only thing we can do is now to try to take measures to mitigate. For careers, for jobs, that means try to shift towards something that can't be replaced by AI, which is why I say, for instance, nurse. You can't replace that. You can replace a lawyer. A lawyer can be replaced. Not all lawyers, but most lawyers, most paralegals. You guys are screwed in the next 20 years. But nurses going to need plenty more of those, especially when you have an aging population, because kids today, and by kids, I mean people like under 30, are not having their own kids anymore. It's going to have a really, really olding population. Forget all about overpopulation. You only have local overpopulation in some places. The big problem that is facing the Western world is population collapse. And no, immigration is not going to do jack shit to solve it.
No.
So
happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Thanksgiving is on its way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think construction jobs, plumbing, licensed electricians, all those. That's never gonna go away.
Yeah.
You're gonna need those men,
You
Absolutely. Plumbers.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Carpenters.
The
and they
machine
make
is
good
so
money.
far.
They make good money.
Yeah, they do.
Absolutely, yeah. Like they said on South Park, that made the bum who was doing all the repairs and stuff. He suddenly got rich. So yeah.
You know-
Hyperdiver says for $5, when it comes to AI, at best you're an author, at worst you're a thief. Oh, I can think of maybe
I'm
worse
seeing
scenarios
more
than
and
that,
more
but-
people trying to pass novelettes, novels, stories they're writing from an AI generated it. Art that they say they created, but AI generated. And what you have, those people are just posers that want the benefits of what you get by being a writer or what. Yep.
That's my that's my novella. Right?
Written by AI.
No, I wrote this baby, and I know a lot of people like writers that are using AI as writing prompts.
Yeah.
And that is the ultimate, prostitution of your creativity. Maybe you had a good story, but I'm very proud of this. But it's hard work.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like AI's. That's a shortcut. All right.
That's right. Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm saying, guys? So
Where can we
had
pick
to
up
put-
that book? Where can we get that, Paulie?
There's the link right there, and I appreciate Andre and D Bud. All you guys have been always supportive. This baby has sold over 200 copies.
Nice.
Awesome.
And but we all got our lines, right? We all got our lines. It's like, it's like let's try to work with AI. But as far as like writing a creative story and just using the AI prompts, man, that's scary, man.
They're doing it. It's happening.
scary.
And what they're doing too is those people are muddying the water so badly that you have people who are out there who are rejecting AI, saying that's slop, AI slop. That now you get people that just have a knee-jerk reaction to anything that maybe has a semicolon in it. Oh, that's AI wrote that or whatever. And when in fact it was just good writing or good proper grammar or whatever. It's like, no, this is AI slop. So it has muddied the water. But as Andre says,
you have
we're
no
not
idea
gonna
how
get
many
rid
people
of
think
it.
that I'm an AI.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I did for years. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and it is good for editing, for giving notes. It is fantastic for that. And
Yeah.
depending on what we're working on, all our reviews are not AI. Some of our news items have the AI edit prompts, and it's like, it's
We
great.
use that too to generate SEO tags. I've used it to process and give me sort of the finer points of long legal documents and point out where those things are to kind of put things in layman's terms for better understanding. And so, I mean, yes, it can be used as a tool, much like the spell checker on your word processor, right? I mean, it's like, well, I didn't miss it, but the computer thinks this might be misspelled. It's an advanced version of
I'm
that.
a terrible speller.
Yeah, well, I think we had a former employee sabotage all of our computers and start saying every word, adding it to the dictionary. Every misspelled word's been added to the dictionary, so it doesn't catch it anymore.
Yeah. Atlas Alex says for $5 how to defeat AI. Put your rational mind in its place. Cultivate meta-mind of being and become an inspired creator of conscious arts. Atlas CA for info.
Oh,
All right. That don't mean nothing to me, but thanks for the tip.
$5 promotion right there.
Yes. Atlas, yeah, check that out, I guess. All right, we have reached the end of the line for today. So, gentlemen, plug your wares. Paulie, where can people find you and where should they go next?
So I'm doing a couple things today, guys. I'm going to interview a Film Threat director who got nominated for a Film Threat award in about an hour. We're gonna go live, but we're gonna do that on our Substack. We are on Substack, and I'm very excited about that because we're doing exclusive content. So that you won't find that on my other stuff later on. So we're doing that, and then later on today I'll be live, guys, with Cameron Pasha on YouTube.
Awesome. Do check that out.
Thanks,
And,
Andre.
Chris, how about you?
On bleedingfool.com, we've got a little bit of info on Sydney Sweeney's live action Gundam movie.
Watch it.
And Robert Patrick, I'm sure you caught this, but he's talking about coming back again into the Peacemaker DCU. That article goes up in a couple of minutes on bleedingfool.com.
Oh,
Check out
looking forward to reading that.
bleedingfool.com or at bleedingfool on X over the weekend.
While season 2 was disappointing, I still love Peacemaker.
I know you do.
You guys
That's
did
why I
a thing
mentioned
on.
it.
You guys did a thing on the latest episode of House of David. So nice write up.
Yeah, Victor actually reviewed the first season when it was strictly on Amazon, and as soon as it came on that Wonder
Project.
Yeah, for this one, he wrote me an email and he's like, "Man, I was really wanting to review this, but you have to pay extra." And I said, "Well, they sent us screeners last year. Let me just email them and see if they'll send us screeners again." So he's
Great.
Yeah, and he's doing a weekly House of David review. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that show. I'm up to date.
I love it. We have Amazon, and I'm not cheating and watching these screeners. It will, for people who are interested, it will come to Prime later on. So
yeah,
it's
after
gonna
the
be
season's completed.
right. Correct. Yeah. So you're not out of luck if you don't want to pay that extra, but if you want to be up to date and current, you do have to subscribe.
And you talk about a great character actor, Andre, Stephen Lang.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, he eats up the scenery. He's not in season 2 a lot. He plays the prophet
Isaiah
Samuel.
Yeah.
So good.
Fantastic.
I mean, yeah.
This is one of his best roles, I would say, too.
When he's had some great roles. It was
yeah.
the horror series that he did. But yeah, Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
But House of David is really entertaining. Very well.
Well, that's
done.
what I mean. He in this role, he does chew it up, but it's perfect for that character.
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend it. If you don't want to subscribe to the Wonder Project and you haven't watched season 1 stands on its own. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Highly recommend it.
All
And
right.
check out Bleeding Fool's reviews on House of David.
There you go. Thank you, Paul.
Yep.
Yeah,
Check
man.
that out. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Check back over the course of the weekend. We should have more videos dropping. Take care of yourselves, and let's enjoy some koalas in the rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given.